Jamie, that's my girl. She's like this. I'm getting tired of
There, you pointing people out.
Everybody's butt up. You get on up there. Look at
Goodness gracious.
He's all like,
Okay. The Thundercats. It's a 1980s
He got us
cartoon.
in trouble last Sunday.
No.
Sundays ago.
Why has he got
He had a
Bernie
Bernie T-shirt on.
Why has Bernie Sanders
And
on
then
his
people
T-shirt?
calling us, telling us we don't need to have political statements coming from our
They're
pulpit.
lucky I didn't wear my Trump shirt. Okay. Keep it great. That's all I'm saying.
We didn't
Keep it
even
great.
notice that he had it on. That was the worst part.
and other stuff, and then tell him what you wrote us when we scolded you. When we told you not to do that again.
I said, what did I say?
You said you lost your one
No,
chance.
no. I said, how did you miss? No. I was like,
that's it.
I can't believe you guys. How could you miss the best opportunity that you could have in order for me to take off my shirt? Okay? You missed it.
Get that Bernie shirt off.
I know, right now. I'm like, well, I could.
All right. Okay. There you go.
All right.
And on that note.
When you ask the universe for something, then it says yes. That's right. As I go deeper and deeper into the learnings of the science of mind, I say to myself, I am one with God's omnipotent power. The universe will bend and expand so I can widen my territory, so I can heal as many people as my consciousness can handle now. In fact, we all may remember a time we felt like we had a stronger purpose and the universe had something special for us. That's right. And yet, what's next? What's next is faith. What happens when you put a vibration into the universe is that it manifests itself as the vibration it was received. Some of the most clear-cut messages I needed in this class came from Dr. Robert Bitzer in his essay. Perhaps you will see how two major keys from his story helped me uncover my superpowers. Number one was that Dr. Bitzer rode with the big dogs in his community. He convened with the likes of Dr. Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. Is that his name? Yes, thank you. Can you imagine feeling the frequency of the divine in the presence of those new thought rock stars? That's what I've been doing in my own special way as well. I've been offering my services and being a vessel of healing to the people that make a difference in my life and that make a difference on the island of Kauai. Therefore, I have expanded my reach to be a blessing and a healer to so many more. Also, you may find a little piece of Dr. Bitzer in yourself when you think of his faith in the principles of science of mind. Somewhere in your unconscious mind, you can, my fellow spiritual rebellions, find that being here in this very class is a testament to your faith in the science of mind. Dr. Bitzer said on multiple occasions that he stayed in principle when he moved to different locations or when he needed to find funds for something he wanted to do. And eventually, as soon as we go deeper and deeper within ourselves and have the faith in spirit and the science of mind, we'll find the resources and consciousness to do anything we want and get anything we desire. It also touches my heart to see people push the envelope and be different. And best of all, Emma Curtis Hopkins, the teacher of teachers, endeared those differences in her students as they healed others. Her students had so many different styles in helping others heal their mind, body, and soul. And she seemed to have a deep respect for each of them. That's so awesome. Someone that was really different, but wasn't a student of hers, yet he was someone that helped people use their minds to heal, was Anton Mesmer. Anton, or Mr. Mesmer as I call him, seemed to be the most different of all the people we studied, and yet gave me the most hope. He inspires me because of his usage of hypnosis to heal others. As a certified hypnotherapist that uses the skills of hypnosis as a life coach to help people every day, Anton Mesmer motivated me in the deepest way. That's right. In fact, eventually, some of us will be practitioners. I don't know how we will speak life into the wonderful spirits that walk through that door. Yet, I once heard a teacher of mine learn from his grandmother that said her mentor say that you can use hypnotic language to influence other people's unconscious mind and get them into a state so they can change their life. That's right. Then the biggest epiphany of them all came during this class. I learned the 5-step process of science of mind treatment uses hypnotic language. It goes deeper than that, though. We all use hypnotic language to encourage ourselves and others. So I figured, if I'm gonna talk to people's unconscious mind, I might as well start now. That's why I wrote this entire speech using the lessons that I learned from these hypnotic language cards to hold your attention, hopefully leave you in an inspired state, and be my own little version of a spiritual rebellion. Thank you.
What is that? What's in your hand?
We got questions. This is a bunch of playing cards.
Okay.
All right, and it has different lessons on how to use hypnotic language. So as I said things like, that's right, or deeper and deeper, perhaps, eventually, it all held your attention and helped talk to your unconscious mind.
Try to brainwash me. I didn't hear a damn word you said. Wait, hold on. I'm going with Jamie. Stop your pointing.
That was great, Charles.
Stop your brainwashing. So Mesmer is his man.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Great. Good job, man.
Thank you. Follow that.
Jamie.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I will top that. No, I'm following that. Just kidding. I wanted to open up by expressing how grateful I am. I remember just 8 weeks ago, and it seems like this class has gone by so quickly, but where we were at 8 weeks ago, or I was at, so desperate to just be around people, around my tribe, as Sue talked about, and getting out of what was a very interesting situation going on in my household, which I alluded to in our thought papers 2 weeks ago, and which I will allude to later on in the talk. But I titled my talk, The Root of Belief. And throughout these beautiful 8 weeks, I had the overwhelming message from each class and from each of these founders of New Thought that healing for me was going to be solely based on the belief that I am healed and the knowing that I am perfect. All of the founders, starting with Anton Mesmer, and I love the way that the class was structured. It started with Mesmer, who demonstrated the power of the mind to heal the body just on belief, albeit he played with the line of belief and suggestion and moral values, a little. But he did provide a rudimentary practical application to healing with the mind and really demonstrated that it is possible. And then we went to Phineas Quimby, who built on that foundation and took a practical approach to healing. He believed that disease is due to a wrong direction of the mind, and like Mesmer before him, experimented, however, on however many thousands of patients, and actually was able to show that if you can, or with his technique to change these wrong directions to truth, you can bring about healing. He healed thousands of people. Then we went on to learn about Mary Baker Eddy, Emma Curtis Hopkins, who all put into this practical application of healing through spiritual mind treatment, or just that practical approach on steps on how you can make this work in your life. And of course, although I didn't understand Emerson at all times, what I got was that it was about belief and knowing that I was perfect, that's what he wanted me to get from it. And that it doesn't matter what he said, what I interpreted of what he said was paramount. So I really, really appreciated Roseanne sharing that with us. For me, Thomas Troward was the person besides Bitzer. Bitzer, I think, by far was the one who I resonated with the most. I felt that his just spot on, that everything is from principle and always going to principle, and principle first, and principle will provide, and just the absolute belief and faith that this will come to pass, or what he wants. It's just beautiful, and I aspire to that. And just reading that small essay was just so, it really inspired me. So that was one of my favorite readings that we had from the class. But I did also enjoy Thomas Troward. I guess I really do like long run-on sentences, but I really enjoyed the way he was presenting everything in a logical argument. Like, this is why it is, and it has to be this way, and because of this is where we're going to go. Eventually, we'll be able to think ourselves into different dimensions. I'm like, yes, I am there. I am for that. But in the short 8 weeks of this class, on top of all this great learning, I have been provided the opportunity to focus more on living in the infinite now and practicing these principles, or the principles of our teaching, to heal in my life. Two main ideas that have been sticking with me as I put pen to paper to write for this final project was one, that belief is powered by the understanding of our unity with spirit. Thomas Troward spoke about that. Dr. Holmes continuously speaks to us about that. And I think that this idea of the unity with spirit is just what is going to unlock healing and my power for me. And that's something that I've been praying about and doing spiritual mind treatment about through this last 8 weeks. And on top of this, I think is my second point, is that the belief powered by understanding of our unity, that understanding is made possible by realizing that spirit is infinite. And the exercise with Emma Curtis Hopkins of the Radiant I Am, that meditation experience, I think it was the third listen through, but I had an experience where she stated, I am the unending, irresistible life of the world. And it just came to me, just a realization came to me of the infinite possibility, the infinite reality, that God is everywhere, is everything, living and breathing through all of us at all time, all ever was, all ever will be. And it was beautiful. I enjoyed, I had a beautiful night's rest. So, spiritual mind treatment for me is the step-by-step process that affirms these ideas, these two main ideas. Every day, day by day, sometimes moment by moment. And that's what I've been focusing my treatments on lately. Ralph Waldo Emerson stated, prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. He also said, with the exercise of self-trust, new powers shall appear, that a man is the word made flesh, born to shed healing to the nations. I love these two quotes from Emerson, and he did also resonate with me, though I could not understand him at all times, but there's still some beautiful gems that I really appreciated. And it made me really, or it influenced my belief in the power of spiritual mind treatments. I wanted to share an experience that I had been going through, that this class, I mean, of course, every moment has been divinely created, and it's beautiful, and I'm appreciative that this class was going on during this experience. But for the last 6 months, I had been living with a partner that had been depressed, had lost the direction in life, had given into the idea that he was going to be unhappy, that life was just always, the shoe off the other foot. And I had decided that that is exactly how I didn't want to live my life. I wanted to live my life in always expanding, in learning new things, that I can always be happy in any moment, at any time, and that the good that is for us is the good that we ought to have. And I had, as I alluded to during that thought paper speech, I had booked a treatment with Rita, and had to have that reminder that I am God, I am spirit, that I have every infinite possibility in me now, that financial health is mine, that health is mine. And over the last 8 weeks, I started working out. I would go for a run, a 3-mile walk run. A little bit more walk than run, but I got out there. I started taking this class, enjoying this class, spiritual mind treatment at least every day, meditations in the evening time, if not in the daytime. And I made that decision after that treatment. It's amazing how you need that reminder that you are power, you are spirit, that you have everything you need now, that you don't even need anybody to give it to you, that you have it and it will always be attracted into your life. And it has. Right? It has. I've never been hungry. I have never been cold. I have always had everything that I've always needed and or wanted. And once that treatment, I went home and I had decided that this is not the kind of life that I wanted to lead. And we had decided that, or I was actually able to be honest about all of the way that I felt and what I wanted in life. And I shared these things, which I hadn't done so before. I had been praying for him also, recognizing the power of spirit within you, because I recognize it within myself. And as soon as I had said that this was not enough for me, then it was like I was able to see this change in this person. All of a sudden, he had decided that he wanted to live life and that he could be happy here. And he started working out, and he started, in 1 week, he met up with 3 friends when he thought he had no friends. And it was just mind-boggling to see it work for another person once you make that decision and you decide that you have the power to create for you, right? And now I'm faced with I had made the decision that this was not what I wanted, but now this is, another possibility that is coming into my life. So the other experience was the Radiant I Am experience, which helped me to affirm that, my intuition is what I need to lead with. I need to stop second guessing what comes to me and immediately questioning, is that the right thing to do? Instead of, this is what I'm hearing, this is what I need to do, let's think and act that way and allow what comes and make the next decision that comes. So after, I'm very excited to see what will become in the next few weeks. I definitely am feeling healed, especially through, this class and learning the ideas that all these men and women had. And I look forward to what is going to come. So thank you, everybody, for being a part of that experience. I appreciate it.
That was awesome. They were all
Great.
awesome.
I'm telling you. Jamie, something I wanted to point out about you is when we first met, you were saying that, you had all these opportunities to come here, and then you said, I was checking it all out, and you finally, your time arrived to be here, and I'm so glad that did, because you knew about it for a long time before, and it was just great, and I just was sitting around watching, and he's going, look at you, just taking that opportunity. And for everybody, one thing I want to say is that you made me think of it when you were speaking, that this class was the first class of anybody coming in here, if you'll remember, like a rebellious. This was the first in-house class with everything going on around us.
Right.
And I sat there and I went, how ironic that you were like the spirits in rebellion. That we almost like,
It's not even the name of the class.
Put the drapes in, and we came in like they did. They went in when everyone said, don't go together and you can't do that, and all of the stuff we've talked about tonight. And we came in here anyway. And we took that risk for ourselves because we believed that we were going to leave the world of Zoom, even if it was only for one night a week. And I remember walking out the first night. It makes me very emotional because we're still in the midst of a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not trying to pretend not. But I remember it was the first moment that we got in the car and I said, this is the first normal evening that I have had in so long that I felt like we were, for 2.5 hours, I had no idea that anything existed except at this time, and it felt like we were home again. And until you get home the next morning, you go, oh, that's right, it's still here. But that's what I really want to say about everybody. What incredible, risk takers we are. And I'm not talking about just risking to come here. I'm just talking, I am talking about that too, that we said that we trusted enough, that spirit was alive enough in this room, at least for 2.5 hours, that we were safe. And we can only call safety. So thank you. I just want to thank you because it was actually you, Melissa, that said, are we going to meet in here? And I was like, no, I was going to do Zoom, And then you go, I think if we just kind of push ourselves around, or at least pretend to do that, then that we would do it. And I remember, it was the day before the class started. We're all meeting here. Everybody want to come in? I remember the very first time. So there you go. Miss Rita?
First of all, Michelle used to call it jawalking. Jog walking.
Jawalking.
So, just so you know, jawalking. All right, because I do a lot of jawalking too.
Wow.
This class was like the perfect class to have during this time. I mean, and it wasn't, we didn't know that this time was going to happen, the whole COVID thing, when we decided to do this class at this time. And it's just like, it's always been like that in the center whenever we've done things. It always ends up being the perfect thing at the perfect time. And I guess I want to know how, because we didn't really talk about the COVID, thing. Did this help you, like being able to, did it help you through the COVID? Like through, no, not that we're still in the COVID, but
Did it help you?
yeah. Did it help you through it? Like, did it help you give it like a different perspective on it, or did it? Yeah? Yeah, or were you like that anyway? Because I feel like there's not a lot of fear in this room at all. Like, you know what I mean? Not fear. It's one thing to say something's real and we got to take care of ourselves and be safe, than there is to say I'm terrified, and I'm going to stay locked up in my house. And I don't feel like anybody in here is like that. So I just wondered if the teaching helped with it.
Yeah.
The teaching itself helped at least to face it and to think about it and work through it. And, were you going to say something?
Yeah.
No, it was certainly a great reminder, right, during the time when we really needed the most. Yes. And especially for me, because I was going through something. And just to let everyone know, my COVID test was negative. So I'm like, you can come close to me, I'm good. But I had to quarantine myself, and that's why I wasn't here on Sunday. But I came with a shortness of breath of something, and I figured, oh, I'm going to go and see my grandkids. Do I not? Do I not? And it's like ridiculous. Go do it. What's up with that? Why be afraid of it? No. So I just went and had it done. The worst thing was that I was able to have time to watch The Secret and the new Thought Movement on Prime Ticket. So yeah, I think it was a good reminder that we were all here and during this time.
Because if we can't take this stuff and use it, like, then it's not worth anything. If we can just read the theory and say, wow, these were really great people, but I love the way that all of you really basically took it into your life. So I just wondered about that one specific thing, because it is something that we're experiencing right now in the world of conditions, you know? So
I just wanted to share a demonstration that happened for me today. You know, we live out in the boonies and we don't have any electricity there except my husband put in the solar system. And I had heard something about, you know, solar rebate or whatever. But anyway, I was doing my taxes and I got them done and I was so excited because we're going to get a $5,000 rebate, you know. And but then I'd already submitted my taxes online. And then I came across this little form that, you know, reminded me years ago, you know, that they Discover credit card finally let me off the hook for some debt that was not even mine, that was on my name. And so, but they gave me this form and totally forgot to put it in there. So I wrote my accountant, who was such a sweet person to help me to have the courage to do my own taxes. And I sent him this. I said, well, do you think I should do the amendment? Anyway, so he sends back, he goes, oh, yeah, but you know, the way you did your rebate thing, he goes, you're entitled to $11,000. And I would have never have sent it to him, you know, to question it had I not gotten this other thing. And then, you know, so anyway, so now I'm getting 11,000. So
Party at DJ's, party at DJ's. And another thing too,
Would anybody else want to answer my other question? Yeah, no? About the COVID, that was all.
But I think that another thing that came up when I was sitting there, and I don't know if you felt it, Rita, is that when you guys, each person got up, when you've done this for a while, and where we're at, and we've done it, that it never gets boring to me, this teaching, because we're always, no matter if you get here, then it's going, are you feel good? Yeah. Okay, here's another evolution for you. And you're like, oh, okay, here we go. Let's start at the beginning.
It to life.
But what I thought when I was looking, I said, each one of you, and I want to thank you for it, is that each one of you allowed me to remember that I am so in love with this teaching, and that when you were talking, I said, this is why I can get through whatever is happening. I can get through it. And it was because hearing it
out of somebody else,
new and coming out of like almost like a freshness, and that I just went, oh my God. It was like, you know, you became the student and you went, oh, this is the coolest teach. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, yeah, it's me. Oh, shit. I've been doing this. Oh my God, we're ministers, honey. We've been doing, you know, and I just want to thank you, because it's that is helping Rita and I as we, you know, go through an incredible amount of learning. And we can say that it's been very, very challenging for us, because we've really had to, and hearing this tonight, it's like that's why we can do what we do. And that's why when, you know, we're in a world of, I was saying, you know, those things that go up and down, seesaw, and I just feel like it's that way. It's like, this, I could do anything. No, you can't. Oh, yes, I can. You know, you're going up and down. And I just want to thank you, because tonight I feel a renewed sense of everything I've ever done. But I go, yeah, Yeah, thank you for the reminder. And so it's nice to be a reminder for people like we are, and then to allow yourself to just go, let me be reminded. Let me marinate in all of you tonight. And I did that, so thank you. Thank you.
Do we have something next Wednesday night? No, I don't think so. I'm going to invite you if you want to come, because I had to pick a date for it. I have an audio recording of Dr. Joe from, I'll tell you about it when the camera's off. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think
So
we
anyway,
need the
so why don't
camera
you
on anymore.
close out and then we'll-
Yeah, we'll close out and then I'll tell you about
Any
it. Okay.
parting things? Congratulations on your demonstration, by the way.
Well, and I don't mean to, whatever, make nothing of what other people are going through, but to me, the COVID has been such a blessing because my daughter lost her job.
Your daughter's there.
It came over and she spent this time with me, and my husband and I, we both stopped working, because we had to be on quarantine and everything. And I got to just work on my farm and, on my property and do all the things that I've been wanting to do for so long, So it was just wonderful. And then, of course, we weren't working. But then, as it turns out, the unemployment was such a good deal anyway. So it was just like, I just felt like just over and over and over, there's been all these blessings. It's just, been amazing. And so I'm happy.
I think that's very funny about the unemployment. It was like, people were going, I can't believe it. It's like 4 times the amount. I'm thinking going, well, I didn't know if I'm getting paid this week. What the hell are you guys doing? And I was like, oh, be happy for them. Be happy for them. Yeah, because everybody's going, unemployment. I mean, Michelle and Ron were going, wow, so yeah.
Well, so I really had to think about what you're asking, because 8 weeks ago was like another century ago, it feels like. I mean, where we were 8 weeks ago in terms of what was going on the island, I mean, it felt really safe. It felt like, we were like in this little bubble and everything was, was great. But it was really nice to come have it, an outing every week and do something really fun. But as time has gone on over the past couple of weeks with the opening and all the community spread and everything, I'm having difficulty with it, and I'm not quite sure how to write it in me, because I feel fear, but I don't feel like I'm like terrified, but it feels like it's like I just have to I have to listen to myself and what feels right to me, but there's a part of me that's really resistant to like giving into the fear, but I feel like I don't want to be stupid. I want to be, it's very confusing, and then there's all this stuff going on. What is the powers that be going to do? And like, are we going to be,
But I think what I'm asking is not that you don't have fear or that you don't concerned about it or any of that, but that how do you use the teaching? How do you use the teaching? How do you use the philosophy during that to help you, so that if you are feeling fear, you can spiritually mind treat yourself or really examining, you know what I mean? And use it every day and meditate and put yourself, it doesn't mean you go running out into the world without your mask or whatever. Yeah.
Right. And this is the COVID's helping us do this. I think that,
so.
But I think Rita put it beautifully on Sunday. It's like, who's putting on the mask? It's like, it's not about that you're putting on a mask. It's not that you're not protecting yourself. It's not about any of that. It's about who's putting that on. Because if you become just about the mask as a fear mask, instead of like when we were kids, we put on a lot of masks. And so I'm always feeling like I'm doing a lot of pretending. But the one thing I'm not going to pretend to be, there's a great thing, because when this first started, I said it, that I went to Costco and it broke my heart, because I saw people in their masks and their eyes looked like alien eyes, because they were like, toilet paper.
Oh, it's not normal, let's face it.
And it broke my heart.
What's with the toilet paper? I still haven't figured it out.
We got to get some. But my
Anyway,
my point
Kim-
is that it's not about what are we going to, it's like where are we going to come from with it?
the thing is that you should be able to use this to help you. That's all. You should be able to use this to assist you. So when you know something, you don't get to say, I don't know it now because this is going on. You get to use it and utilize it and say, how can this help me at this time? So that if I'm feeling fear, I can go in and I can spiritually mind treat. I can read uplifting things. I can hang out with people or talk to people that are uplifting to me and not fall into the other stuff. And then when I do, I have tools I can use, right? And it's not saying that it's not all real out there or whatever. It's just saying, okay, so I have to walk through the world now that's seeming dangerous or whatever. And how am I going to feel when I'm doing that? Am I going to be susceptible to the fear about it, or am I going to walk through the world and know more about myself, and then take my precautions and do whatever because you can't force your own belief system, whatever your belief system is. You can't fool it, right? You can't say, oh, well, I don't believe in the COVID. I'm going to go right out and I'm going to go spit on everybody, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't really believe it. Or I'm going to go quit my job, and then you end up, with no money because you quit your job and you didn't have the belief system to start your own business. You know what I mean? You have to know.
The message I got today
Is to
about
use
that is to use it, but also two things came up for me. One was, I've been extremely, Rob and I were talking about it, he's like, I'm tired, man. I'm just globally tired. Even if things are going fine, I mean, I'm not, saying that, but I got this message today in meditation. I've been trying, at the deepest part of me, to end the COVID war. That's a lot to wake up with, just in case you guys are wondering about that. That's a lot and so that was kind of like spirituality got me caught in a trap, because I went, until I can wipe away and it's like, oh, dude, I have to let you know right now that this is not the process. My little inner child was saying, we got to wipe it all away and then everybody will be, and I'm saying, no, but that's what people are thinking. Once we wipe away everything, and the only thing we need to wipe away is the stuff in our own world, our own consciousness. And that's what I said today. I have to take care, because I was so clear. I mean, we're honest here, I would say, I wouldn't say it on Sunday, but you never know. But I'm at a point where I was getting really tired and actually getting sick, because I was feeling like I had everything on my shoulder. And I even said I could feel it on a Sunday. It's like, you guys got to help me out here. Wear your damn masks and just do as we can do so we can have the Sunday thing. And I'm going, oh wow, that's joy-filled if I've ever seen joy-filled. But that's what it gets to. It's like, the kids have got to behave or they're going to come get us, and it was that inner stuff. And what I realized was I just had to take care of this one thing inside of me that said the same thing that I said, and I've told this one, the same thing that I said when I worked with AIDS patients who had lesions all over their face. And I was also young then, by the way. So you have a little more audacity, I'm sure. But the audacity to go to somebody and hold them and give them a kiss on their cheek, or even sleep with somebody who might have slept with somebody who, it was in the days of New York. So, I was in the party world. And yet what I said to these people that were going, don't touch me, I'm bad, I'm shamed, I'm diseased. And I remember they go, man, I would never have gone in there where you went, man. And I didn't feel brave. I felt like that was natural. And I said, and I remember boldly saying, and going in and getting tested for AIDS and all of that kind of stuff. I remember when I met her, I went and had a few tests.
You should tell them that story.
And so I walked in and I said, and I go, if a God power that lives within me I would die because I loved, or I did something that I believe was good, then I want no part of that God, and I'm not afraid to die. I was that bold about it because it was. What?
I don't know. I feel like you should tell him your miracle story because that's
I
really,
taught the little kids in an acting class, and one
that's
day,
really, really good.
and I was going to get the test, wasn't it? Right
It was
before.
it was the day before you were going.
Day
to get
before I
the
was
test.
getting the test, and in your imaginations, and I wasn't as steeped in this. So I'm like going, okay, every person
And he
I've
ta-
ever had
and he
sex
taught
with.
this class.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
it was a really kind of
They were
yucky-
all walking up going,
was
I
the-
hope you enjoyed yourself because
It,
you're.
it was the yucky side of Albuquerque. Does everybody know Albuquerque or anybody? Oh,
Anyway, there's a yucky
by the
side. and that's where
fairgrounds. It was a
my-
yucky side of Albuquerque. Anyway,
It's a tattoo parlor.
he had a little like studio there, and that's where I met him. And he had
so,
tests, but he was
so
teaching kids
There's
this one
these
day.
little kids, and it was my kids' class, and the hall was dark, and I remember, and they said, the little kid came running, and he goes, "There's a nun or a woman in the hallway," and I looked, and I go, "What?" And I went and looked, and it was this woman who had do you remember, I don't know if you do, but in the old movies, those ones that look
Full
like the
habit.
flying nuns, the big
No,
ones?
like the old-fashioned kind.
And in the middle of like the fairgrounds were right across the street. And
There was
she's
no church, no nothing.
church, nothing. All of a sudden, this figure's walking through the thing, and he goes, "There's a lady out there. She looks really funny." And she's got, and I walked out there, and she said, "Hello, da 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 da."
There was only one kid that saw
Oh
her,
yeah,
though.
one kid.
Right.
Yeah, and she handed me this card,
No, a medal.
a medal. No,
Yes, she gave you a medal.
medal, and then I looked up Labor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you tell the story?
Okay.
I was the one that was healed.
No,
I-
she handed him a medal.
Oh, yeah,
And she
right.
said, "Take this, you're going to need it." And it was a medal, and it had St. Catherine Labor on it. I think it was St. Catherine
Yeah, it
Labor,
was.
yeah. And
Born,
so
left on my birthday. It was
and
my birthday.
she was a woman, a nun back in way back, like centuries ago,
1858 or
or
something.
something longer than that. That was helped people, men that were sick. Like she helped them. Okay, I know.
I know.
And then she walked out, and nobody saw her but this one little kid.
And he's my cute little guy
And
from
there was
it.
nowhere she could have come from.
No.
It was like, and she was in like the full old-fashioned habit. The ones that are like this.
Well, no, even
with
older.
even
with the
older.
little, yeah.
So,
And when she handed
but
it
what
to
was
me, though,
weird about it was that middle of this
this
really bad section of 10, not bad section, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't have seen her. There was no church anywhere. The nuns don't dress like that anymore. I mean,
And even when we went out, there.
No.
No, and when we went out, she just like kind of disappeared. But I love it when she handed me, "You're gonna need this," and I was like, "I'm gonna die." No, I did not. I went, "You're gonna need this," and then I got
was-
the test the next day.
and then test was negative, obviously. But yeah, but
No, I
No.
did not.
but who was she?
I looked her up too.
She was an
I looked her
apparition
up.
of some sort. I mean, yeah, she was. They came as a healing, a healing thing. So it was awesome.
Look at us telling Oliver.
She was an angel. She was.
Oh, Labor? No. Yeah, Catherine Labor.
I think it's
From
Labor.
France.
There's two Catherine Labor. There's two Catherine, St. Catherine's. What does it say? Does she have a picture?
Oh, did you find her? Yeah. So but anyway, but the
Yeah,
little.
exactly. Nobody dresses like that anymore.
Do you know her? Yeah. So
Come
anyway.
on, guys. This
So
stuff is real.
anyway, we discussed, and now I just tell about my whole sex life of the 80s, but hey, it's all right. I was single and wild. And what does that have to do with COVID? Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
This class has kind of been like that, though.
You guys bring out the best in me.
Anyway, let me see that thing. Do you still have it? I want to see what it said about her. Oh, all right. Never mind. Just don't worry about it.
I actually, through the years, brought that. It was just, do we believe in, yeah, I believe that, any,
I don't know how much proof you need.
But all the other kids didn't see him and was starting to call him a liar, because they were like going, "You didn't see anything." But his whole face, he's from England, and his parents were, and he just walked in and goes, "Patrick, Mr. Feren, there's the most oddest looking person in the. I go, no, it's okay. Dad, let him go. I think you better look, miss. And all of a sudden, I'm like around there, and she's like, hello. No, she was older. She was like probably, I don't know, 60s, 70s. But I was in my just turned 30 in those days. No. But anyway, it was really fun.
I thought
so
it
we
was
thought
cool.
we'd share it with you.
I don't know why it came up, but it just, what? I said the miracle story. It was a miracle.
Hey, when you're going to get tested, you'll believe in anybody. Bring them all in.
Why are you making fun of this? It really happened.
I know it did, honey.
Okay.
I do have the medal.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Right.
My mother was so
Oh, yeah, it
excited
was
about
real.
it.
Yeah.
My mother's real Catholic. She's, oh my goodness.
There's still time for him to go back to Catholicism. It really is. It was a sign that he needs to go back to his roots. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, I love you, and here we go.
All right.
I'm going to wake up with a vulnerability hangover
Okay, so
tomorrow.
I'm just
but,
gonna, I'm gonna treat this crazy class out.
You little rebels.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna heal you all.
I love it
heal.
too. I love it. I go, I was with half of New York. It was like, I was like, what?
Honey, you didn't. I was raising a family. I was but no.
I said last night because I felt everything, kind of doing what it's doing out there. And I just was laughing and I said, I don't know why, but I had this vision of a disco the other night and there was people and they were all around sweating and nobody was worried about anything. And I was like, wow, Patrick. Okay, the first step of treatment is what? Yeah. Disco ball.
Okay.
Oh.
Yay.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Let's give Rob a hand of applause. I say a hand of applause. Where did I get that from? A round of applause.
I always tell Rita, I said, honey, my little Gracie, I said, that's not how it goes. She goes, what? My hand of applause. I go, no, it's round of applause. Hand of applause.
All right, wait, hold on. I got to center myself. Okay. All right. Oh, my God. So I just take all this beautiful energy and I just breathe it in and breathe it out, recognizing that it's all God. It's all life force. It's all love. It's all this beautiful pulsating energy that I call universe, that I call divine. Everywhere present, that beautiful, beautiful, amazing energy that is always here with us, as us, through us, breathing us, and is always perfect. It's never been touched by anything. It is a pure energetic field that we get to mold and change and just do with whatever we want with it, create whatever we want. And I know that we have created this beautiful time together. This was a divine appointment, these 8 weeks, and that everything that we have learned here, everything that has expanded us, everything that has been good, we get to take with us. We get to take it with us, and we get to just make our lives bigger and make our lives more expansive, make our lives more loving, make our lives more of everything that we want for ourselves. I know that this is the truth, and I know that any healing that needs to take place, it's already a done deal in the mind of spirit, in the mind of God. It's already been done, and now we are just moving into that space of healing for ourselves and for this whole planet. I know that as we stay clear on principle, as we take the words and the lessons that we've learned from these great mystics, and that we continue to learn and know that we are just as great. We are just as great as all these beautiful, amazing people that we have studied and are the ones, we are the ones right here and right now to take this forward and expand it. And I just know that that is what we do with our lives individually and collectively, that we are a healing presence on this planet. Right here and right now, we have showed up with just the right stuff at just the right time to live in that fullness of health and wealth and all that is beautiful and all that is good. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful for a manifestation of perfection for each of us, through each of us in our most perfect way, knowing that divine right action is in place at all times. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. And I just release my word with that gratitude as law. I let it be as we affirm together. And so it is.